Good morning, friends. Today I am going to discuss about the cerebellum. Cerebellum is also known as a little brain. It is a part of the hindbrain. Embryologically, it is a part of the rhombencephalon. It is situated over the posterior cranial fossa. Let me show you the posterior cranial fossa. This is skull bone. Okay. If we remove this vault of the skull, this is vault of the skull. If we remove it, then we can see the interior of the skull. This interior of the skull is divided into the anterior cranial fossa, middle cranial fossa, and behind this petrous part of the temporal bone, there comes posterior cranial fossa. The cerebellum is mainly situated over the posterior cranial fossa, below the tentorum cerebelli, which is a fold of the dura mater. Cerebellum is present posterior or dorsal to the pons and medulla oblongata. It is separated from the pons and medulla oblongata by the fourth ventricular cavity, which you have already learned in the previous lecture. This is fourth ventricular cavity. It is connected with the brainstem by a three cerebellar peduncle. One is superior cerebellar peduncle. This is superior cerebellar peduncle. Can you see this? This is superior cerebellar peduncle, which connect the midbrain to the cerebellum. Another one is middle cerebellar peduncle, which connect the pons to the cerebellum. And last one is the inferior cerebellar peduncle. This is inferior cerebellar peduncle, which connect the medulla oblongata with the cerebellum. So like a cerebrum, this is cerebrum. Like a cerebellum is folded into the sulci and gyri to accommodate the large surface area into the limited space. This cerebellum is divided into the sulci. This depression is known as a sulci, and this elevation is known as a gyri. In a similar way, cerebellum has also this transverse fold. So it is folded into the transversely, but the name is different. The depression is known as a fissure, and this elevation is known as a folia. Depression is known as a fissure, and this elevation is known as a folia. You can easily see in this specimen, this is folia, and this depression is known as a fissure. Folia and fissure. So this is cortex, that is a thinly gray matter, and this one is the white matter. This white matter is axially projected into the folia, and it will give the appearance like the branching of the tree appearance. So this branching of the tree appearance is also known as a arbor vitae cerebelli, that you have already learned in the uterus. It is known as the arbor vitae uteri. In the similar way, in the cerebellum, there is also presence of the branching tree appearance. It is known as the arbor vitae cerebelli, tree of the life. This is most commonly asked question in the discuss about the external feature of the cerebellum. If we cut all three cerebellar peduncle, these all three cerebellar peduncle, if we cut, then we get this specimen. So over which we will discuss about the external feature of the cerebellum. So cerebellum has a three parts. Mainly these two larger area is known as a hemisphere of the cerebellum, and this two hemisphere is connected by a median worm-like elevation that is known as a vermis. So it has 3 parts: to lateral cerebral hemisphere and midline vermis of the cerebellum. Cerebellum has 2 surface: superior surface and inferior surface. This is what you see is the superior surface, and this one is the inferior surface. How will you differentiate between the superior surface and inferior surface? This superior surface is continuous with the vermis and the opposite part. So it is convex one, and there is no any distinguished feature between the vermis and the hemisphere. So according to the surface, vermis is also divided into the superior vermis and the inferior vermis. This inferior surface has midline deep median notch known as a valleculi cerebelli. Over the fossa of the valleculi cerebelli, there is a presence of the inferior vermis that we discussed, and the partition between it is known as a sulcal valleculi. Okay, so this is inferior vermis, this is valleculi cerebelli, and the partition between the vermis and the cerebellar hemisphere is known as a sulcal valleculi. Cerebellum has 2 notches. One is anterior notch, one is posterior notch. So this is anterior cerebellar notch, which is wide but shallow, and occupied by the pons and the medulla. Okay. This is posterior cerebellar notch, which is deep but narrow, and it is occupied by the falx cerebelli, which is a fold of the dura mater. So it has 2 notches: anterior cerebellar notch and the posterior cerebellar notch. Cerebellum has so many fissures, but there are 3 well demarcated fissures over the cerebellum. So from superior to inferior, first you can see this fissure. This is V-shaped fissure over the superior surface. This fissure is known as a fissura primum or primary fissure. This fissure is known as a fissura primum or primary fissure. This primary fissure will divide this superior vermis into the anterior 2/3 and posterior 1/3. Okay, anterior 2/3 and posterior 1/3. After that, you can see this fissure. It is more conspicuous. This fissure is named as a horizontal fissure, which divides the superior surface from the inferior surface. So these horizontal fissures, it is more conspicuous and it is dividing the superior surface from the inferior surface. And the last one is known as a posterolateral fissure. Posterolateral fissure. You can see this fissure. You can see this flocculonodular lobe. This part is a floccule, and the midline vermis part is known as a nodule, and it is connected by a small thin peduncle. So this lobe is known as a flocculonodular lobe. So this posterior lateral sulcus is dividing the rest of the cerebellum from the flocculonodular lobe. It is embryologically first fissure appear. So we have completed the external features of the cerebellum. Now cerebellum is subdivided into certain portion like anatomical subdivision, morphological subdivision and functional subdivision. First we will see the anatomical divisions. Anatomically, by a posterolateral fissures, the cerebellum is divided into the flocculonodular lobe that we have already discussed with the rest of the cerebellum. So this rest of the cerebellum is known as a corpus cerebelli. Now again this corpus cerebelli is divided by a fissura primum into the anterior lobe. Front of the fissura primum is known as the anterior lobe, and between the posterolateral fissure and the fissura primum, this part is known as a posterior lobe, or some book mention it is a middle lobe. Now according to the lobe, it is further subdivided. Like over the anterior lobe, if we take this anterior lobe, then this vermal part is also divided, and this hemispheric part is also divided correspond to the vermal part. So here present three subdivision of the vermis. First one is the lingula. Can you see this lingula? In this you can better see. This is lingula, which has no lateral projection, which is not correspond with the cerebral hemisphere. Then after that comes central lobule. This central lobule correspond with the hemisphere. That part is known as a ala. After the central lobule comes the culmen, and with the corresponding part of the cerebellar hemisphere, it is known as a quadrate lobule. So from front to behind, first comes lingula, which has a no lateral projection. Then comes central lobule. Its lateral projection is known as a ala. Then comes culmen, and its lateral projection is known as a quadrate lobule. Now comes the posterior lobe or middle lobe. It is also over the superior surface and some part over the inferior surface. If we see in the superior surface, then there are two parts of the vermis. One is declive, which lateral projection is known as the lobulus simplex. After the declive, there comes folium vermis, and its lateral projection is known as a superior semilunar lobule. Now over the inferior surface. After the folium vermis come tuber, and the tuber has a lateral projection known as the inferior semilunar lobule. After the tuber comes the pyramid, and its lateral projection is known as a biventral lobule. After the pyramid, there comes the uvula. This is uvula, and its lateral projection is well demarcated. It is known as a tonsil. This elevation is known as a tonsil. So you cannot differentiate, but you have to remember in the viva, because madam will ask that enumerate the anatomical division. So you have to remember all this. You can differentiate this tonsil and corresponding part, that is a uvula. So after that comes this flocculonodular lobe. So this process is known as a floccule, and this midline elevation is known as a nodule. So vermal portion is known as a nodule, and this hemispheric portion is known as a floccule, and it is connected by the cerebral peduncle. There is sometimes also known as a secondary fissures between the pyramid and the uvula. There present the secondary fissure, but only some book mention it. So we have completed this anatomical division. Now comes the morphological division. According to the morphological division, it is divided into the archicerebellum, paliocerebellum, and the neocerebellum. So this morphological division is according to the phylogenetically and functional criteria. Now first we will take the archicerebellum. Archicerebellum is also known as a vestibular cerebellum. It is the oldest part of the cerebellum. It is present in the aquatic vertebrates, mean fishes and the amphibians. Part of the archicerebellum is this flocculonodular lobe and lingula. This lingula and the flocculonodular lobe is come into the part of the archicerebellum. This archicerebellum receives inputs from the vestibular nuclei. It is mainly for the maintenance of the equilibrium, tone and posture of the trunk muscles. Now second one is the paleocerebellum, which is the next part of the cerebellum. Okay. This paleocerebellum is disposed over the dorsal portion of the archicerebellum. It is present over the terrestrial vertebrates, means the reptile and the bird, with the appearance of their limbs. So, what are the parts of the paleocerebellum? First part is the anterior lobe, except the lingula, because lingula comes in the archicerebellum. And then pyramid and uvula part is come in the paleocerebellum. This paleocerebellum is receive inputs from the spinocerebellar tract, and it is mainly for the tone and posture of the limb. Now last one is the neocerebellum. Neocerebellum is also known as a cerebropontine cerebellum. It is a most recent part, so it is present in the primates with the appearance of the telencephalon and the cerebral cortex. So neocerebellum is a recent part and is appear in the last, and it is over the pre-dorsally disposed over the paleocerebellum, archicerebellum, paleocerebellum, then neocerebellum. Now rest of the parts except archicerebellum and paleocerebellum comes into the neocerebellum, and this part is mainly for the smooth performance of the skill voluntary movement. So we have completed the archicerebellum, paleocerebellum and neocerebellum. Now the last one, that is functional division. We have completed the anatomical division, morphological division. Now we come to the functional division. So besides this flocculonodular lobe, which receives input from the vestibular system, this corpus cerebelli is divided longitudinally. In the anatomical division, we have divided into the transversely, but in this functional area, we have divided the cerebellum into the longitudinally. So first, this vermal portion is known as a medial zone. Beside this vermal portion, there are a pair of the paravermal area, also known as a intermediate zone. And after this paravermal area, there comes the pair of the lateral zone or hemispherical area. Now first the medial zone. It is mainly related with the movement of the trunk and extensor muscle tone. It receives inputs from the vestibulospinal tract. Now comes the intermediate zone, which is mainly for the ipsilateral movement and for the flexure muscle tone. It receives input from the ruberospinal tract. Then comes this lateral zone, which is mainly for regulation of the coordination of the distal limbs, means skillful prehensile act. It receives inputs from the corticospinal tract and the ruberospinal tract. So now we have completed the anatomical division, morphological division and functional division. Now, if we cut this cerebellum horizontally, then we will get this. So this gray matter is known as a cortex, and this is white matter. Inside the white matter, there are present of the intracerebellar nuclei that you cannot differentiate over here, but starting from the midline towards the lateral side, over both sides, midline to lateral side, first nucleus is the nucleus fastigius, then comes the nucleus globosus, then comes nucleus emboliformis, and then dentate nucleus. Fastigius, globosus and emboliformis we cannot appreciate over here, but we can see the dentate nucleus. Can you see this crumble bag appearance? Can you see this crumble bag appearance? It is dentate nucleus and its hilum is projected over the medial side. This fastigious, so in a book picture you can see this is midline. From the midline, if we go laterally, first this purple color is one fastigious nucleus, then this smaller one is nucleus globosus, and after that comes nucleus emboliform, and this crumble back appearance of the nucleus, this nucleus is known as a dentate nucleus. This globosus and emboliform nucleus together called nucleus interpositus. You cannot see here the fastigious, globosus and emboliform nucleus, but you can see dentate nucleus clearly. Can you see this crumple back appearance? Over here also. So this nucleus is known as a dentate nucleus. Fastigious nucleus is related with the archicerebellum. Globosus and emboliformis nucleus is related with the paliocerebellum. And the dentate nucleus is related with the neocerebellum. Fastigious nucleus interpose into the median or vermal area. Globosus and emboliformis means nucleus interpositus. It is incorporate into the paravermal area, and this dentate nucleus is incorporate into the lateral zone. So let us summarize whole cerebellum. Let us summarize cerebellum. Cerebellum, it is also known as a little brain. It is situated over the posterior cranial fossa, and we have already seen you this pattern, this branching T pattern. It is known as a arbor vitae cerebelli. Cerebellum is situated dorsal to the pons and medulla. Now external features. What are the parts of the cerebellum? There are two cerebellar hemisphere and midline vermis-like projection known as a vermis. And there are two notches, anterior cerebellar notch which is wider and shallow, then posterior cerebellar notch which is deep and narrow. There are two surfaces, one is superior surface which is convex, and then inferior surface. Inferior surface is midline divided by the valleculi cerebelli, and this valleculi cerebelli is demarcated by the sulcus cerebelli. It has mainly three well demarcated fissures. First one is the fissura primum, which will divide the anterior lobe from the posterior lobe or middle lobe. Then comes the horizontal fissures, which divide the superior surface from the inferior surface. Then comes the posterolateral fissures, which divides this flocculonodular lobe from the rest of the cerebellum, which is known as a corpus cerebellum. Now we have already divided this anatomical division, then functional division, then morphological divisions. For the anatomical division, let us see the book picture. So from above downwards, you can see this lingula, okay, which has no lateral projection. Then this pink portion is the anterior lobe. In the anterior lobe, from vermis, first comes the central lobule, and its lateral projection is known as a ala. Then comes culmen, its lateral projection known as the quadrate lobe. Then this yellowish color is the posterior lobe. This pyramid and uvula is also posterior lobe. So in that, from out downwards comes the declave, folium, tuber, pyramid and the uvula. Declave's lateral projection is known as a lobular simplex. Folium lateral projection is known as a superior semilunar lobule. Tuber's lateral projection is known as a inferior semilunar lobule. Pyramid's lateral projection is known as a biventral lobule. And this uvula, its lateral projection is known as a tonsils. And below which you can see this vermal portion is known as a nodule. This is peduncle, and this lateral projection is known as a flocule. So there are a pair of the flocule which is connected with the nodule by a peduncle of the flocule. In this specimen, we have also seen the dentate nucleus. This is crumble back appearance, dentate nucleus. So what are the important questions which will ask in the cerebellum is, first of all the external features, what are the divisions, what is arbor vitae cerebelli, and what is the main primary three function, that is maintenance of the posture, maintenance of the tone, and the coordinated movement. Thank you.